So bringing yourself to your comfortable seat, just go ahead and give yourself a few moments to kind of fidget and wiggle. Maybe move your sitting bones out of the way, so kind of spread the flesh of your booty on the ground so you can really root down through your tailbone here. Then you can just gently rest your hands on your thighs or your knees, whatever feels comfortable. Feel yourself sitting up nice and tall. And then maybe close the eyes if it feels okay for you here. So as you start our yoga practice with just a bit of grounding, we're bringing ourselves into some presence. And a really tangible way to do that is to just connect to the rhythm of your breath here. Maybe just notice here the sensation of your breath. Maybe feel where in your body you feel your breath the most. And see if you can begin to deepen your breath. So on your inhale, can you draw that inhale all the way into the base of your belly, filling up nice and full with air. And then as you exhale, let your belly just float back towards your spine, really expelling all of that air. So taking a few more dynamic breaths, just like that. Deep, full inhale, belly floats forward. Exhale, belly draws back. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. And take two more just like that. Our theme that we're working with today is movement, right? So obviously the physical movements of our yoga practice and how that can be nourishing to our bodies and our minds by moving and exercising, right? But then there's also some more subtle movement that happens in our yoga practice. And this connection to the breath is a really important one. So you'll kind of feel the subtle, energetic movement of your breath in your body here as you're sitting and sort of grounding into your seat. Then we can also use the subtle movement of the breath to tap into these specific energies of the body. And so the energy that we're tapping into today, we call it prana vayu in our yoga practice. So there's a few different kind of definitions for prana. The one that I enjoy the most is vitality. So our prana is our vital life force. It's this sort of energetic potential that is within all living things. And so in the yoga practice, we use our breath to stimulate that prana and sort of disperse it through the body as a way to kind of clear out some space, create strength, feel lighter, feel more energized, just feel more present with what's going on in your breath and in your body. So we're going to practice some breath work here in the beginning, right before we start moving. If you're familiar with your Ujjayi pranayama, this is what we're going to work on here for a bit. If you're new, Ujjayi is just a sort of way of intentional breathing to help stimulate that prana that we're talking about. So just take a few natural breaths here as we prepare. Your Ujjayi breath is going to sound kind of like a Darth Vader breath, honestly, or they say it sounds like waves on the ocean. It's a bit more poetic, but it's a really thick and intentional breath that comes through the base of your throat. So we're going to practice with your mouth open here at first. So you're going to exhale and pretend like you're trying to fog up a bathroom mirror. So you feel that bit of constriction in the base of your throat. Go ahead and do that 2 more times. One more. Good, and now we're gonna keep that same intention, but on the inhale as well. So exhale, fog up your mirror. And then see if you can make that same sound as you inhale. Maybe try that 2 or 3 more times, mouth open still. Good, and then keep everything exactly as it is in your throat and your breath. Just close your lips. So you start to get that Darth Vader sound, yeah. Keep going with your Ujjayi breath, maybe 2 or 3 more rounds here. We want it to be strong and intentional, but then also kind of soft and delicate. So don't feel the need to, I don't know, force anything to happen. I know this is a bit of a different way to breathe, but over time it starts to come a bit more naturally and doesn't feel as strenuous in your breath. Go ahead and take one more big full breath in and sigh it out through an open mouth. You can softly open up your eyes. Good job. So we're going to try to cultivate still that Ujjayi breath through some of our movements. So if it kind of falls away and you forget about it, that's also fine. You know, I'll kind of remind you, just come back to it when you can. But it's a really good way to warm up your lungs and warm up your muscles. So we can kind of find a bit more movement and more heat in our practice. So just go ahead and take an inhale and stretch your arms up nice and high overhead. Put yourself still, rooting down through your sitting bones here as you reach up through your fingertips. Go ahead and take maybe one more inhale, open your throat up towards the sky if that feels okay. And then we'll just exhale, drop your right hand to the floor, reach your left fingertips up and over to the left, stretch your side body a bit. And one more big breath in. You can inhale, come back up. And then we'll exhale, take the second side. Left hand to the floor, right hand up and over. Maybe open your heart, spiraling it up towards the ceiling if that feels okay. Good. And then come back up and release your hands on your knees. Yeah. So now we're going to start to make some circles with your spine here. So do you remember that SpongeBob episode where he's like, bring it around town? That's what you're doing with your spine here. So just kind of start drawing big circles with your spine around your hips. And you can sync it with your breath too. That feels nice. If you still want to practice your Ujjayi pranayama, you can inhale, draw your chest forward, and exhale back. Finding some movement, some lubrication in your spine. I'm going to take one more round. And then pause for a moment, and then we're going to reverse the direction of your circle. So just draw your chest in the opposite direction as you had before. I hope you're all picturing SpongeBob in your head right now. Good. I'm going to take a few more rounds. Start to make your circles smaller and smaller until you're just sort of spiraling through your center belly. And then come to stillness. Let's go ahead and just drop your right ear towards your right shoulder here. You can extend your left fingertips, maybe bring your right palm to gently rest on the top of your head. If you like, don't feel the need to pull or press at all. Just be nice and gentle, opening the neck a bit. We're going to focus a lot on the spine today, getting some stretch and some movement throughout the entire spine. Gently release, draw your neck up to center. Nice and easy, and when you're ready, left ear down to the left shoulder. Maybe extend your right fingertips and bring your left palm onto your head. So the spine is another really important part of our yoga practice. It's seen as like this central channel where all of our energy runs up and down. We're going to focus on all the areas of your spine today, low back, your neck here, mid back, and just getting some movement in those areas. You can release, come back up to center, and make your way into a tabletop pose, please. Draw your palms under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Make sure my phone is on airplane mode. Oh, no. There we go. Good. So let's find some cat and cow motions here, finding that lubrication in your spine again. So this is a really great place to integrate that Ujjayi breath again. So as you inhale, dip your belly down to the floor, lift your tailbone up and draw your heart forward in between your shoulders. And as you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin in towards your chest and drop your tailbone. Good. And then inhale, belly drops, heart lifts again, hollow out your low back. And exhale, round it in. Good. Keep going just like that. Inhale, belly drops, heart lifts. Exhale, heart up towards the ceiling. Good. Take 3 or 4 more rounds, just like that, finding that sync with your breath. Maybe adding in any additional wiggles and shakes that might feel good to you here. Keeping that nice, steady breath. Find 1 more round. Good. Make your way to neutral spine when you're ready. Look down in between your thumbs, feel your neck release. And then we're going to come to downward facing dog. So tuck your back toes, lift your knees, and extend your hips up and back behind you. Now feel free to keep your knees bent a bit here. It's still pretty early probably, so give your hamstrings just a minute to breathe and extend in their own time. If it feels okay, you can drop your heels down towards the floor. And just take a few breaths here, maybe bicycle, pedal out your feet, sway your hips side to side. Use your breath, find a bit of movement. Good. Come to stillness. And then walk your hands about halfway back your mat. We're going to take a twisted downward facing dog. So bend your knees a lot if you need to. Your hands are halfway up your mat, feet still at the back. Then take your right hand, grab the outside edge of your left ankle, and gently pull your chest underneath your left armpit. And again, if your knees are super duper bent here, that's also fine. Just take 2 big breaths. Finding that Ujjayi breath. Gently release. Right palm comes back to the mat. Take your left hand, outer edge of right ankle. Feel that compression, that stretch in your mid back. Good, then gently release. Go ahead and walk your hands forward until you come into a plank pose. So shoulders over wrists, reach back out through your heels, draw your booty up towards the sky, and then come all the way down onto your belly. You can lower your knees if you need some help to get there. We'll come into baby cobra pose, so gently lift your heart, drawing your shoulders on your back. And then exhale, find downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, gently lift your hips up and back. 2 big breaths. Good. We're going to start strengthening just a little bit, increasing our energy, our movement here. So go ahead and inhale, come forward, plank pose. Take a breath. Inhale nice and strong. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, plank pose. Roll your heart forward. Step your shoulders over your wrists. Lengthen your neck. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more just like that. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, dog. Last one. You got it. Inhale, plank. Draw your low ribs together. Exhale, dog. Good job. Inhale, lift your left foot up high in the sky. Behind you, point out through your toes. And exhale, bend your knee. We're going to step forward for a low lunge. So release down onto your right knee. Untuck your toes. Your left foot is forward between your hands. Go ahead and inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky. And feel free to sink into your hips a bit here, as much as it feels okay. You have a blanket or a towel, maybe a sweater you want to place underneath that right knee for some extra cushion. That's cool. We'll just take a few breaths here. Feel yourself reaching up towards the ceiling with your heart. Let's actually go ahead and release your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingertips at the small of your back, and then press down into your fist to reach your heart up. Ujjayi breath, 2 big breaths here. Sink low into your hips, 1 more. Good, gently release your hands. Bring both hands to shape the front of your foot, so both hands on the floor around that left foot. You'll tuck your back toes. Inhale, lift your right knee, and then walk yourself to the right, so you're facing the long edge of your mat. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. I'm sorry, you guys all have my butt right now. Turn your toes in a bit, heels out. And then exhale, just let the nape of your neck relax towards the floor. Nice and passive here in the beginning. Just take 2 big breaths. Feel that stretch on your inner thighs. Good. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway. So draw your chest forward, look down at the floor. And then exhale, walk yourself back forward to face the front of your mats. And then when you're ready, step back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good. Inhale, right leg lifts. 3-limb dog. Reach out through your toes. And exhale, come forward, low lunge. So right foot in between your hands, lower down onto your left knee. Untuck your toes. When you're ready, press super strong into your right foot and inhale, come up, hands towards the sky. And see if you can reach out through your fingertips while also relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. So it takes quite a bit of integration of your muscles to do both at the same time, but just try it, see what it feels like. Go ahead and interlace your hands behind the small of your back. And then press down through your fists. Inhale, heart reaches up. 2 big, full Ujjayi breaths. 1 more. Send your breath into your heart if you can. Good. We'll slowly release. Bring your hands up towards the sky, then down to the floor. Go ahead and tuck your left toes and lift your back knee. And then walk yourself to the left, facing the wide edge of your mat again for another forward fold. So feel yourself lift up halfway with an inhale to prepare. And then on an exhale, release down. Just fold at your hips and let the back of your neck totally relax. Maybe even shake out your head a little bit, nodding yes and no. Maybe your torso wants to sway side to side. Whatever works, just 1 more breath. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, so flatten your back, look down at the floor, and exhale, crawl forward towards the top of your mat. When you're ready, step back, downward facing dog. Big full breath. Inhale, look forward towards your fingertips, and then bring your feet to your hands. Take as many steps as you need to get there. You'll end up in a forward fold. Go ahead and release all the way through the back of your neck. Bend your knees if you need to here. Take one big breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands on your shins, flatten your back, look down at the floor, and exhale, fold down. Good. Bend your knees, we'll come all the way up to stand. Let your hands reach up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart, Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. Take a breath here. So we're going to do a variation of our Surya Namaskar bees. So this is a kind of quick and fast-paced sequence, but I want you to go with your breath. So if that's slower than me, feel free to take your time. If you feel like you need to skip a few things to just make the practice a bit more accommodating to you, that's totally fine. Take from this whatever you need. It's all about your breath and your practice. So we're going to start standing at the top of your mat here, Tadasana pose. Take a breath to stand nice and super tall and strong. When you're ready, you'll inhale, draw both your hands up towards the sky. And you'll exhale, sit back into a chair, Utkatasana, chair pose. So bending your knees, hips drop down. Take a full big breath in. And you'll exhale, straighten your legs and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on your shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank pose. On an exhale breath, you'll come all the way down onto your belly. And inhale for that cobra pose. Reach your heart forward, elbows in towards your ribs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, take a breath. We'll inhale, draw your right leg up high in the sky again, 3-limb dog. And as you exhale, step forward, preparing for warrior one. So let your left heel find the floor, square your hips forward, and when you're ready, press down through your feet, rise up through your hands. So with this pose, our hips are squared forward, so sometimes that means your right hip has to draw back a bit and your left hip draws forward. And then from there, can you strengthen your left leg really super strong? So make sure your back leg is supporting you as well. Take a big full breath. Good, we're gonna fly a bit here. So as you inhale, gently reach back behind you, kind of arch your back, look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, dip your chest forward, let your wrists come behind you, and bow in towards the inner part of that front knee. And then you'll press down, inhale, come back up. And exhale, fly forward. Do 2 more just like that with your breath. Inhale up, exhale down. 1 more. Make it nice and fluid. And inhale, come up. Exhale, both hands down to the floor, step back, plank pose. Take an inhale breath to integrate, so get really strong in your belly, strong in your shoulders, and then exhale, come all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big full breath. Good, second side, inhale, left leg lifts, and step forward, warrior one. So again, right heel finds the floor, square your hips, drop with a full breath in. Yeah. Good, find that reach out through your fingertips, but then soft through your shoulders. Good, 1 more breath. Inhale, arch your back, reach behind you. Exhale, fly forward. 3 more, use your breath. See if you can make this motion like a wave through your spine. Press down through your feet to help you lift. And strong in your belly, bow forward. 1 more, use your breath. Good. Inhale, come up. Exhale, both hands on the floor. Step back, plank pose. Big full breath in. Exhale all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Heart draws forward. And exhale, tuck your toes back, downward facing dog. Good. Take 3 big breaths here. Feeling free if you need some extra nourishment. If your wrists or your feet are tired, you can lower down onto your knees and come to child's pose at any point, whatever you need. Take 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, bring your feet to your hands, forward fold. Good. Halfway lift, big breath in. And fold. Good. Utkatasana, chair pose, bend your knees, inhale, hands reach up, sit low. And exhale, stand Tadasana. Good. Give yourself a breath. We're going to do that whole sequence one more time, a bit faster to see if we can kind of sync 1 breath per movement. So I'll still be with you and I'll still explain where we're going. If you know this sequence and want to go ahead with your own breath, and yeah, take it at whatever pace works for you. Okay? Just give yourself a breath to get ready. Sigh it out. When you're ready, let an inhale start you out. Hands reach up. Exhale, chair pose, sit low. Take a breath in here. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plank pose. Maybe you can hop back now. And exhale, lowering all the way down to your belly. And inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up high in the sky. Exhale, step forward, set up warrior 1. Let an inhale bring you up. Yeah, exhale, sink into it. Good. Finding your flow 4 times here. So inhale to reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Use your breath. Find strength in your legs, but softness in your spine. 1 more. And draw up when you're ready. Exhale, both hands down to the floor. Stepping back to a plank pose. And exhale down. Inhale, cobra, maybe up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, when you're ready, left leg lifts. And exhale, step it through. Finding your warrior 1, your flow, use your breath here. Let your breath be strong. Infusing you with strength and vitality. But then also some softness and grace. This is my last one. When you're ready, rise up. Both hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, and vinyasa your way down. When you get to your downward facing dog, take 4 big breaths, either in downward dog or that child's pose. Take a moment to come back to your breath. Find that Ujjayi breath. Fogging up the mirror with your inhales and your exhales. Take 2 more. Inhale, look forward to your fingertips when you're ready. And step forward, top of your mat, forward fold. Take an inhale to halfway lift. And let it go. Last chair pose. Inhale, sit low, hands reach up. And exhale, stand up to asana. Good job. Take a big breath. So let's just go ahead and step your left foot back behind you so you're facing the wide edge of your mat for another big wide stance. I'm slowing it down quite a bit now. You guys rocked it. So then turn your toes in and your heels out a little bit so you're kind of pigeon-footed, and then draw your hands onto your hips. So we're going to bring a bit more strength into our forward folds now here. We were kind of passive about it in the beginning, but now I really want you to energize your thighs. So see if you can pick up through the inner arches. So press out into your pinky toes really strong. Go ahead and take an inhale breath here. And exhale, hinge at your hips, begin to fold forward. Whenever your legs tell you that you need to stop, that's fine. Just release through the back of your neck, draw your chin towards your chest. You can keep your hands on your hips if it's in your practice to draw your hands down to the floor, maybe walking your hands back towards your heels, and that's also fine. So wherever you are, just bring your connection back to your breath. Good, take one more here. Good. Then gently bring your hands back onto your hips. If they weren't there already, slowly stand all the way up. Take your time. Good. Taking a bit of a twist here. So we'll go ahead and inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down through your heart, fold forward again. This time just bring your left hand to the floor. You can either just bring your right hand onto your right hip and open your chest up towards the ceiling, towards the right. Or if you want, you can extend that right arm straight up towards the ceiling, whichever feels best in your shoulders. Make sure your thighs are still supporting you. Press out through your pinky toes. Take 2 big breaths here. Then right hand comes down to the floor. Slowly unwind yourself. Let yourself take a breath here. And then right palm onto the floor. You can bring your left hand onto your hip. Open your chest up to the left. Feeling free to stay here or maybe extend your left arm up towards the sky. We're finding that twist in your mid back again here. Gonna take 2 big breaths. Good. Slowly unwind. Coming back down to the floor. Go ahead and interlace your hands behind your back. Stay folded here. Just inhale, press your fists away from you. And maybe as you exhale, let them fall towards the floor. That's pretty intense on your shoulders. So don't feel like you have to drop through your fists if you don't want to. You can even just hold on to your opposite elbows behind you if that's preferable. Maybe bring a bit of softness to the backs of your knees here as you take 3 more breaths. Good, and then gently release your hands. Bring them back to the floor in front of your face. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, walk your chest towards the front of your mat. We'll all come back to downward facing dog. Good. You gently pedal out your feet a bit. And then release down onto your knees, find tabletop pose. Good. So you all made it to now the slower portion of the class. Congratulations. We'll come into puppy pose. So you're going to stay on your hands and knees. Just walk your hands to the very top of your mat. So you have this big long space in between your knees and your hands. And then reaching your hips up and back behind you, drop your forehead to the mat. So maybe your forehead finds the mat, maybe it doesn't. But we're focusing on this space right between your shoulder blades. So as you drop down to the floor, you should feel that sort of connection between your shoulders. And as we take a few breaths here, maybe just focus on releasing some tension or some of that clinging action in that area of the back of your shoulders here. You can close your eyes if it feels good. We're going to take 5 big breaths. Softening through the back of your heart. Through your shoulders. Through your breath, one more. Then press into your palms to slowly lift yourself back up. We're going to come all the way down onto our bellies, so just bring your chest forward and lower down onto your belly. Good. Then we're going to find Sphinx pose. So you do look like a sphinx. You're going to bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and your forearms stretch out parallel in front of you. So we can make this pose pretty passive here as we're starting to slow down a bit. So if you want, you can release your chin in towards your chest, but sort of draw your heart forward as your shoulders come onto your back here. So you feel a bit of that compression in your low back here now. Go ahead and close your eyes. And come back to that Ujjayi breath. See if you can invite some stillness, some softness anywhere into your body where you feel some tightness or some tense. And take 3 more breaths. And softly walk your hands back under your shoulders and slowly lower yourself down to your forehead to unravel your spine. And just take a breath. Make your way nice and slow to downward facing dog. You want to come through a tabletop nice and kind of lazily to get there, that's fine. We're slowing down quite a bit, so be mindful of your breath and of your body. I'm going to take an inhale here. Good. We'll draw your left leg up high in the sky one last time. And as you exhale, come forward for a pigeon pose. So bring your knee to the left, your ankle to the right. You're going to lower down onto your right knee and come all the way down. So this is a pretty intense hip stretch. You'll feel it in the outer left hip. So don't feel like your left shin has to be totally parallel out in front of you. You can draw your left heel more in towards your groin if that feels better. So wherever you go, bring yourself down slowly into whatever position makes this feel, I hesitate to say comfortable, but whatever makes this pose more passive, I guess, more nourishing to you. So maybe you're coming down all the way onto your forehead to breathe. That's wonderful. Maybe you're staying lifted. That's also wonderful. The practice comes from meeting your body wherever it is today. Feeling no need to muscle our way into a shape that we might not be ready for. Just allowing that movement, that stretch, that space to come naturally with our breath and with some time. So give yourself 5 big full Ujjayi breaths here. Taking your time to slowly come back up. Pressing into your palms to lift your chest. Go ahead and tuck your back toes to walk yourself back to downward facing dog. Take all the time in the world you need to get there. Maybe you want to extend that left leg back up high in the sky for a bit of a counter stretch. Do whatever feels good. Maybe make some circles with your hip. Release in whatever way feels intuitive to your body. And then when you're ready, we'll come into the second side. So drawing your right foot forward, knee to the right, ankle to the left, and settling into your pigeon pose on this side. Probably noticing that one side is a lot easier than the other. Let's take a breath here to notice where your body is and honor that. It feels okay for you to begin to lower yourself down and take that option for yourself. Maybe close your eyes. Find your breath. Maybe noticing if any thoughts are starting to trickle in. As we come to stillness and our mind isn't as distracted with all of our bodily movements, it becomes easier to sort of let the mind begin to run away. Well, that's totally okay. It's really normal. Just maybe making it a practice of whenever you notice yourself beginning to run off into thoughts, to just bring your awareness back into your body and into your breath. And take one more big, full, deep inhale here. And let it go. Slowly lift yourself back up. Taking your time, finding downward facing dog, any other stretches or counter poses that might feel good to you. And when you're ready, we'll come down into a seat. So come onto your knees, come to sit on your bum, and just come to Sukhasana or easy pose. So just sitting maybe with one ankle in front of the other. You kind of open up the hips a bit more, bring your hands onto your knees, close your eyes, and just take 5 big Ujjayi breaths here. Seeing if you can begin to soften the muscles behind your eyelids. across your shoulders and into your heart. See if you can feel your spine travel from the base or your root, your tailbone, all the way up through the crown of your head. You gently open your eyes. Go ahead and extend your left leg out long in front of you. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Flex out through your left toes. Take an inhale breath to reach your left arm up high towards the sky. And you're going to exhale, reach around, hug your right knee in towards your chest so you can open your chest up towards the right. And bring your right hand back behind your sitting bones. So gazing back over your right shoulder if that feels okay. Use your exhale to hug and pull your belly button back towards your spine. See if that maybe gives you some more space to twist deeper if that's something that would feel good in your body. 2 more big full breaths. Good. Just take your gaze forward. So just look forward toward your left toes. Keep your body exactly where it is. And then you can slowly unravel. Gently switch sides, extending your right leg, left knee in towards your chest. From Marichiyasana, go ahead and inhale, reach your right hand up towards the sky, and then exhale, hugging left knee in towards your chest. Find your twist on the second side. Left hand comes behind you. Again, maybe using your breath to help you deepen this pose if you'd like to. If you're feeling a bit more passive, maybe a bit more tired, feel free to just let the pose kind of do the work for you. Go ahead and just bring your gaze forward, nice and steady. And then when you're ready, unwind all the way. We'll go ahead and lay down onto your backs. Bring both knees in towards your chest and just give yourself a big hug here. Maybe rock side to side. It's the best part of the practice when your teacher says, come onto your back. Go ahead and extend your left leg out long in front of you. Again, keep your right knee in towards your chest. We're going to find a half happy baby. So reach the sole of your right foot up towards the ceiling. Your knee will kind of come down towards the floor. You can take your right hand and maybe just grab your ankle or your shin. Maybe take your big toe with your peace fingers. This kind of takes a good amount of openness in the hips. So just be mindful. Be easy with yourself. Go wherever this pose feels good to you. And just let your knee draw down towards the floor to create some space there in the outer hip. Take 5 big breaths. Even though we're coming out of our more dynamic and active physical practice, we can still see the way that this Ujjayi breath can help us. But even in these positions of more subtle and more passive stretches, we can use that breath to help us create space where there is some tightness. So maybe as you take your final breaths in this pose and then onto the second side, see if you can invite an inhale into your outer hips. So anywhere where you notice some tightness or some tension. And then as you exhale, just imagine that you can release all of that from your body out through your breath. See if that doesn't help you soften and relax a bit here. Let's take one more. So gently release the foot with your hand. Keep your foot where it is. Take your right knee into your left hand. We're going to cross over the body for one final twist. So draw your right knee across the body to the left, and then maybe gaze in the opposite direction of your knee if it feels okay. And take 4 big full breaths. Feeling your rib cage expand out 360 degrees with your breath. And you can slowly guide yourself back up to center. Give your right knee one last little squeeze in towards your chest, and then when you're ready, switching sides. Right leg extends, left knee in towards your chest, coming into that half happy baby. So foot up towards the ceiling, grabbing wherever is accessible to you. Plugging that left knee down. If you can keep your tailbone on the mat, that's preferred. Just let yourself soften with your breath here. And one more inhale. And exhale. Easing your way into your twist, you release your right foot. Take your knee into your right hand. And then bring your knee across the body to the right. And maybe you gaze to the left. Feeling the full integration of your spine in your final pose here. Maybe seeing if you can tap into some of the subtle energies, maybe feel your prana traveling up and down your spine. And softly unwind, come back to center. Coming into Shavasana, maybe take any final poses you would like. One more hug of the knees in towards the chest, or any other shapes that you feel like would round out your practice if you need them. But when you're ready, just extend both of your legs out long in front of you. Take up space, so turn your toes out nice and wide, let your ankles spread apart. Let your hands relax down by your sides. Just let your full body release into the mat here. Take one last big, full, deep breath in. Deepest breath you've taken all day long. Sip in all the air until you can't hold it in anymore and let it go. And just closing your eyes and resting here. No need to hold on to any breathing techniques or patterns. Just let yourself be. Allow yourself to rest. Letting your awareness just rest in your breath whenever you notice the mind beginning to wander here. Breathing some subtle and soft movement back into your toes and your fingertips here. Taking your time to slowly wake back up. If you'd like to maybe take one final stretch, reach your hands up long and tall behind you, pointing your toes, lengthen your whole side body. Take a big breath in. Take your time to slowly roll yourself over to one side, draw your knees in towards your chest. And softly picking yourself back up into whatever seat is comfortable to you. I invite you to keep your eyes closed here for just our final few breaths together, honoring that inward, that reflective, that nourishing space. Gently bring your hands up onto your heart, placing one palm on top of the other. Just cradle your heart here. Maybe as we go off into our day, into our weekend, asking ourselves, where in our life do we need a little movement? Where do we need to clear some space? And even though we might be in a place of great stillness in the world and in our circumstances, there's still these subtle energetic movements that we can always tap into. That subtle but intentional is very powerful. And you always have the wisdom of your heart to guide you. Thank you all for your practice today. Namaste.